Okay, this is a task I meant to do yesterday, but in giving this car, this little SUV truck, whatever you want to call it, Honda Pilot, giving it a good, deep, thorough cleaning to get rid of the smell that was in there. Yeah, I ended up actually getting into it and actually waxing the paint too. I don't know if you can tell here. There are all kinds of chips and nicks and scratches and all kinds of stuff. This paint, you know, and then the hood itself's got a bunch of hail damage in it. That's why we got it for so cheap. So I went and actually, probably should have done it a long time ago, turtle waxed the whole thing. But these are what concern me today. That one's not too bad. But that one, it is. And I've used your basic restoring, polishing stuff on it before. So I'm going to take it a step further this time. I am tempted to try and just pull those out. Well, probably the easiest way is just to mask and go. And so that's probably what I'm going to do. There goes the ghetto bird. It's usually Lifelite. Lifelite goes right over us. But I'm going to do a method I saw on Chris Fix. You just mask around, drape everything, sand this all down, use some degreaser on it, clean it up real good, then coat it. And two things I'm going to use today. I'm going to tint them a little bit with some nightshades, and then I'm going to use Rust-Oleum Automotive Enamel Gloss Clear. Don't think there'll be too many problems with these things actually interacting with each other. I sure hope not, because if so, then shoot, maybe I'll end up buying brand new headlights. I don't know. Who knows? I like these headlights, and I'm not worried about the tint in them, because those Ox Beam LED headlights in those things are pretty freaking bright, and I'm not going to go like super dark tint on them anyway, just enough to, well, blend them in a little bit. But yeah, the other thing I'm looking at, a ton of UV damage on this stuff, and here too. The thing I'm curious about is what it takes to take that grill out, what it takes to take that off. As I take them off and probably coat them with some Duplicolor bed liner. And you might need to mask that off to do that, unless you can, I bet you can from the backside, probably pull that emblem off. That's for another day though, that's for another day. But yeah, that's probably the cleanest this truck's been in a long time. And I'm trying to hold my tongue on this one, but my wife already knows how I feel about it. I'm told I have a higher standard for what cleanliness for a vehicle is. And I don't know, maybe that's something the Army taught me, or maybe it's something I brought with me to the Army, but either way, keep your stuff clean is my thing. Alright, I'm going to get into it. This is fun. That's how slick that turtle wax came out on it. I'm probably screwing with the finish on it, but oops. Trying to show you something. I don't know if I can do it one-handed. Hang on. So you notice this gap in here, and it'll get on in there. So what I'm trying, dang it, I did it again. One-handed, this sucks. So I start with the tape. Let's see what I can do here. I bet this comes out awesome for photography. Slip it in there, behind there a little bit, tuck it, and then stick it down. I wonder if you even saw any of that, holding it with my chin. I guess that's why people have those little head mounts for their GoPros, right? And you can see exactly what I'm talking about. But yeah, you get it tucked in behind there. I'm trying to keep too much from going anywhere inside the engine bay. Not that that really matters, because I don't think any of that. But still, just tuck it in behind there. I'm really more concerned about getting the edges of the actual finished panels on the outside. So that's what I'm really trying to protect. But yeah. Freaking slick. That's, I don't think it, yeah. But yeah. So the turtle wax I'm using, or did use, is this stuff. That's what I like. Nice liquid stuff. Put it on with one cloth. Let it dry to a haze like you would with most any other turtle wax, and then buff it on out till you get the shine. So we've got the shine. It's just that I sell this poor truck. All these nicks and blemishes and scratches, and this stuff too. I don't know if that's even going to show up. Do you see that little checking that's going on in there? Paint starting to dry out and crackle. That's why I say I screwed up. I mean, yeah, this truck's a 2004, so it's not young. Well, that's one of the biggest things you'll see happen here in Utah is UV rays will kill your paint. Usually the clear coat goes first, but you'll see this too. All this cracking and checking and stuff is just the UV rays just deteriorate stuff. Yeah. This is what this truck's worth. It's probably not even worth a respray. Tell you what I am considering for it is getting a DYC Plasti Dip stuff and doing that with it. That's a thought. And that might be how I go about fixing these things, because they're kind of they're a graphite gray. You know, all those, and you can see that fade is bad. I don't know, things to think about. Let me get back to this though. There I am with my ADD on. I just don't get enough time to pay attention to this truck because the wife's always using it. Right now I've got it. I've taken it from her so I can actually get this done. But here we go. Alright, you want a quick drape. You take your basic garbage bag, open it on up, and you cut, just scissors, just cut along those lines of where the seam is at, and it'll open up to a good sized drape that is pretty impermeable to most light duty painting like this is. So yeah, that's exactly what I'm going to use to drape it over. I'll get it draped where I want it, need it, and that should control the majority of the overspray. Kind of also figure it's been newly waxed, so any overspray should come off easily enough, but I don't plan on getting much. Could keep it all, or should keep it all centered on these lights. Alright, here we go. There's what I like about using garbage bags, is they have a static clean that helps keep them to the vehicle. So all I did here, razor knife, extremely careful not to hit anything on the vehicle. A little bit of a nick on the tape there. But I just slice at the bottom, slice here, and just fold that flap up. I'll tape it down. Now you retape all this, and if you got one that's too close like this, just tuck it under. You got exposure of paint there, that's fine. Just fold, tuck, do what you got to do, and lay another bead of tape across it. And then you got the tape to the tape, everything's all sealed up, then you can work on it. But yeah, that's how you go about masking if you're just doing a small piece like that. And with 2 garbage bags of this size, I can actually get the entire front end done, can't I? But yeah, makes it nice and simple. If you don't have the tape and drape stuff, I do, but I didn't feel like pulling it out, and this is just as easy. So here we go. Okay, so I didn't show much of that. All I'm scuffing with, and you can take sessions if you want, I don't care. This is me and how I'm doing it. These are basically 320 grit Scotch-Brite pads. Scuffing them up real good. It's funny, I kind of find only at certain angles and certain reflections you see this little scratch. Other angles it kind of goes away. This side was most heavily oxidized, so there's a point there and a point there. I really had to rough up and try to get that oxidation up. I don't think I still have. It's still there. I'm trying to figure out what angle. I'm pretty sure it is the outside actually. I was worried about it being on the inside. If the inside's oxidized any which way, then you're screwed. Most of these are sealed with a butyl or the CA glue. One way or the other, they're usually sealed. But, you know, the light bulb penetrates in there, so that could be an incursion point for water. Either way, scuffed them up nice and neat. Got it all masked off. Just double checking I don't got any exposure points for the masking. And then yeah, I'm gonna hit it with the nightshades. And remember with this stuff, if you watch my other video about doing headlight restoration like I did on the S10, light coats. Keep going with light coats until you get the tinting you want. And what's it say on here? One light coat or just enough to change lens color. Do not exceed more than 3 coats or light may not show through. Dries the touch in 1 hour. Can be handled in 3 hours. Cures completely 24 hours. Yeah, the light coats I was doing is probably every 30 minutes, and the heat we've got out here today, we're in the 90s. It should be fine. But again, with all paints, look on the back, they tell you what the paint does and doesn't do. So, alright, here I go. Alright, there we go, first coat. Really, really light. Don't know if you can see a difference yet, but I can. And actually, what I love about it, I probably didn't get that oxidation as much as I needed to. The clear coat, I hope, will cover a lot of that up. But you can see it actually brings some of the shine back once you start putting this tint on. I don't think I'm going to go too heavy on hers. Like I said, I don't want to darken it out too much, but just enough that it'll cover it up. Definitely got that VHT duplicolor type smell to it, whatever solvent they use. What do they call those? Aromatic hydrocarbons. But yeah, you can see it starts bringing back some of the pass-through. So this, I think it's going to look pretty cool when it's done. I'll let that dry for a few, and I'll come hit it with another light coat. Again, light coats. Do not try to do it in one pass, because then you screw it all up. Alright, here we go. Alright, here's the second coat. Is that showing up for you guys? I'm not sure. Again, I'm not going for totally dark out, blackout, G-money type stuff. But it's definitely showing a little darker for me. Not sure what this camera does or doesn't pick up, but it's getting there. It definitely looks a lot clearer, at least looking at the camera viewfinder. It's darkening them up just a hair. Out here it seems to be drying pretty quickly. Said hot weather. It's probably ideal for it. But yeah. We'll probably do one more coat and then call it good. We'll let this dry for another 20 minutes or so. And then we'll start looking on the gloss clear coat stuff. Alright. Alright, there's the third coat. And again, viewfinder here doesn't show how dark it really is coming across. Turn that down for a second. I don't know if it really shows how dark that really is coming across. Maybe, maybe not. In person it's pretty dark. Not sure what this camera does. But that's all I'm doing on that. Definitely, in the camera viewfinder, it's weird. Looks more transparent for sure. But they're tinted pretty good now. I'm going to let that coat dry. And then I'm going to hit it with my Rust-Oleum Clear Gloss Automotive Enamel. I'll put that stuff on next. You can put that back on the shelf. Oh, this summer when my boys are here, this all goes away. And I build more of this all over this garage. Clean this place up. This is in the wrong spot. I'll be using that soon for that. Sneak peek. Don't know that that'll be my next video, but it's coming soon. But yeah. Here's the sad part. I've got two bottles, both empty. It is loaded with flux core right now, so that's what I'll work with. Baller on a budget, right? Yeah, let's let this all dry up. This stuff does, and this temperature dries up remarkably fast. My only concern is that the Rust-Oleum and the VHT don't get along well. Hope not. Hope they'll be alright. We'll find out. You'll see here in a second. Alright, there we go. And that's looking freaking shiny after the first coat of clear. Still don't know if you're seeing what I'm seeing. Yeah, I probably should have sanded a heck of a lot more in there. But that is still tons better than what it was. That angle it looks dark. Maybe it has to do with what these overhead lights are doing. That angle looks good and tinted. What's it look like here? Yeah, nice and glossy. And this Rust-Oleum stuff says 15 minutes or so, 15 to 20 minutes. 50% humidity. We got way less than 50% humidity here. So I'll let this sit for about 20 minutes and then I'll recoat. Try to get 2 or 3 coats of the clear coat on it. Because that's really what's going to protect it and keep it clean. I think. Really should go back and do the same thing and clear coat my S10's lights, because this turned out beautiful. I love it. I don't see any initial signs of any sort of fry up or anything. It says after a week, so dry to the touch in 15 to 20 minutes, recoat sometime like that. And then it says you can cure in 24 hours to handle. Totally cured in a week. In about a week you can actually wax it. So that kind of tells you how long it's curing up. So maybe in a week I will see about pulling out the turtle wax and waxing these things clean. I'm not going to wet sand or polish them, but it says, yeah, wet sand, polish, buff, all that kind of stuff in a week. I think it'll be... You still see all the details in there. They're tinted. This should look pretty freaking cool. It definitely makes them look a lot better, and I think the light transmission will be out there where we want it. Again, I still see just... It was bad here. It really was bad here. And I thought I scrubbed the heck out of it, and I was hoping the clear coat would fill it in, but obviously not. This is kind of an experiment for me. If I screw it all up, then okay, save my pennies and go buy new light sets, but don't think it will. I think this will be okay. Alright, here we go. Alright, there it is. I'm just letting it dry. I'll pull the truck in, let it all dry and cure for the next several hours. Some overspray on the hood. I don't know if you can see that in here. Yeah, I guess you can. You can see that line right about there, tape mark line. It's because I didn't fully drape the hood, but it's not sticking. It's more like powder dust type stuff. So I'll probably wipe that off in a second here. But there they are, all cleaned up. Looks bright and shiny through the viewfinder. Looks a lot darker and bright and shiny. Do have one flaw that is showing up. Ooh, heavy orange peel. But there is some weird crackling, not quite fry up, but it's around where that part was. It was severely oxidized, and I didn't quite get it sanded down as well as I might like. I don't know if it's an interaction between the plastic or what, but for the most part, this looks pretty freaking good. And I think the light transmission will be a lot better. Let's come down to this level. What do we got? Yeah, there it is. Restored, a little bit tinted. I think that looks pretty cool with this truck. Should be alright. Next step is to fix all of this trim stuff and that front grille. I am thinking that stuff is gray. It's a dark gray. So if I use that same flex dip I used on my flexi dip that I used on my Suburban's tow mirrors, it'll be lighter. But I think it'll be alright. That's what I might try with those, is just flexi dip them. And it makes sense to do some sort of rubberized coating there, because that's eating all of the snow and road and dirt and grime and stuff as you're flying through traffic. But yeah, for a couple of days got this truck pretty cleaned up. But the more time I spent with it, the more I realized I need to spend more time with it. You know, golly, it's high altitude. You know, if you're out in the Midwest, you're out there in the Rust Belt, you deal with the salt on the roads in the heavy winters and the humid summers, and you get rust. Here, hot and dry and high altitude, it dries our stuff out and starts killing it. So the paint, like the paint on the hood is just already starting to do that crackling that it does from high altitude damage. UV rays, we're closer to the sun, and basically, here where we're at 4,500 feet above sea level. You go up to my in-laws' house, and they're up on the mountain a little bit more. They're around about 5,300 feet, so a mile high exactly. But we're always up in the mountains a whole lot too. This truck doesn't go up there with us all that often. It has before though, but I do need to go get some touch-up paint, fill these in before they become a problem. A lot of little divots and nicks. They're showing a little bit of rust. Yeah. Well, you know me, I don't mind a reason to go by O'Reilly's, but this is definitely one. So if I can't fill in, yeah, look at that, see that crack? That one, it's like actually getting bad. But it is, like I'm saying, all these little hairline cracks that are in there. This wax job I just did should seal them up, but same thing with these rusts. Should seal them up, but that's not permanent. I don't know. I wonder what a hood on one of these costs. Matching this paint would be no fun. Anyway, ADD. There's your lights. There's how I restore them. More than just restoring them, tinting them. Go away, fuzzy. I need a fuzzy landing in my paint. Yeah, we'll see in a week or two. I might pull out the wax and wax these up, shine them up a little bit more. Decent amount of orange peel in there, but with 3 coats, if you felt like it, you could actually go back and wet sand it. Get yourself some of that 1500 and 2000 grit. Wet sand all that orange peel out of there and probably make them look even better. But they're good enough for me. You know, I may not have all the money in the world, but I got some skills, so happy birthday, sweetheart. Take care of her truck just a little bit for her. Do need to get a new mirror. Maybe I'll do that one. That's probably not a bad video to do. There's this thing. See the scrape? There's probably a corresponding mark on that door jamb right there. Down here as well. She pulled a little too tight once. Hit the mirror. Hit back there. I'm betting with this that all I got to do is probably pop this panel, and I've probably got access to all that. It's power. And the mirror itself busted off the base. And you see that wobble? This might be a future video pretty soon. I'm going to go look and see. I'll do that right now. I'll go look and see what one of these mirrors costs if I can get one. And if they want them, yeah, these are paint to match type stuff. I don't know if I want to play that game. They're pretty hashed up too. I didn't really hit them with wax at all. Huh. I don't know. It runs well. Does what it needs to. I'm babbling. If you come this far, thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next one.